On behalf of Netwoven, I'd like to welcome you to SharePoint, Nintex, DocuSign, Putting It All Together webinar. I'm Walter Petrus, Operating Officer of Netwoven, and I'll be the facilitator for today's presentation. My goal is to help you get the most out of the presentation and answer your questions. A few comments about the logistics for today's webinar. We have some great speakers and a lot of content to cover in 50 minutes. We'll do our best to answer your questions throughout the presentation, or we'll post our answers to our blogs at netwoven.com. If you have questions or issues, please look at the upper right corner of your screen. You should see the GoToWebinar control panel. In that panel, you can post questions by typing in the lower right box or clicking the hand to raise an issue. We have quite an international crowd today, so please feel free to use the GoToWebinar piece to share information. A little bit about Netwoven. We're a full-service technology consulting firm serving Fortune 1000 companies. We were founded in 2001. We've been lucky to recruit some great consultants from many industries and technology firms. We feel fortunate to work with many of these firms highlighted on the slide and on the call today. Thank you for your continued business. Quick highlight of our services. Netwoven's been leading the new Office 365 deployments and hybrid solutions, which will cover some of the technologies today. We've been involved in a growing field of big data visualization and integrated digital marketing. Some pretty cool tools are making these solutions possible to a broader audience. We hope to help you also. We're fortunate to have one of our distinguished engagement directors. Rajesh has been a person we've worked with quite a while. He's a great expert in some of these technologies we'll cover today, very involved in a lot of our large project deployments. And so I'm very fortunate to have him presenting with me today. So here are a little bit about the agenda. We've heard from our customers and from many of you, so I appreciate the feedback. We're trying to listen to what you think is the best webinar. And so today we're going to focus a little bit more on a solutions approach. We'll explain two scenarios that we have. We'll go through an in-depth demo. Then we'll talk a little bit about the technology, how to build it, both using Nintex and DocuSign, and how the integration pieces. And we'll kind of highlight some of the things that we've experienced with our customers in building workflows. And we'll try to give you some time for Q&A. As always, we appreciate the questions as we're going along so that we can try to answer them and make sure we're giving you the information you expect from the webinar. Another thing that we've heard from our customers, from many of you, but also other customers, that as we're going through and trying to understand the different technologies, they've really appreciated the best way to evaluate and decide to use these products is to get a solution created that they can demo to their business decision makers. So we've created this Build Your Solution offering to help you get started. It's very simple. Rashi will provide you a link in the questions windows that you can sign up. You'll get a free workflow solutions design session with one of our architects or one of our principals. We'll also give you a free 30-day Nintex trial. We partner with them. And as we've done in the past, also included Tech Talk Train. It's a great way to learn the product. But we really think this is the best way for you and your business partners to understand the value of these technologies. So please sign up today. We'll be happy to help you out and get you started with this free workflow solutions design sessions. Well, here are the two solutions that we've decided to show you. We'll go through it in depth. And so I'll explain this up front, and then we'll kind of go through each of the different workflows. The first one is primarily a SharePoint document signature application. It's developed using SharePoint and Nintex-centric solution. We'll review, we'll create workflows. We'll use DocuSign to just sign the completed document, completed PDF. In this solution, the legal team maintains the Word document templates. In a lot of cases, when we build these different workflow solutions, there's different division of labor. And a lot of times, the legal team is maintaining a library of templates. And in this solution, it allows them to maintain that directly. And then the IT team might be building the workflow solution with the different levels of approval. And so in this case, it's a very easy, low-maintenance solution where the legal team can continue to modify those Word documents without involving IT once the solution is developed. The second example is a little bit more involved, but it also shows to highlight the benefits of DocuSign. It still uses Nintex, and it's in SharePoint, to kick off the workflow. But the DocuSign integration is using a Word version and integrated with DocuSign templates. And that allows them to have much more easier web-based data entry and approval. And so we'll show you that example. It uses DocuSign templates. It allows you to have multiple documents sent to one signature, and also has some end-user guided document review and signature assistance by DocuSign. So with that, I think we're going to make our transition. I'll talk a little bit about the demonstration. So the first example here is, as I mentioned, the SharePoint document signature scenario. We have a very simple, new request. It's in this case a Nintex form on a SharePoint list. That kicks off and then runs an Nintex workflow, which grabs the templates from the templates directory, modifies, puts the information that we filled in from the list, and then it sends it off for review. The review is done by a contract specialist in case there's some additional information that needs to be put in there. Then once that's submitted, it'll go to a decision maker who will do a final review of it. And then here's the additional piece that we put in, where it actually routes it to the third party, gets their signature, and once that's signed, then it downloads it back to SharePoint and kept in their SharePoint repository. So with that, I think I've got Rajesh on the line, and we're going to go ahead and show you this demonstration. So again, this is a SharePoint site. We've customized it somewhat, but ultimately we're just giving the user a button to create a new agreement. In this case, we can have several different contract types, and I'll show you we have different document templates already created for that. In this case, we're going to have a new logo design. And in this case, we'll have our famous Acme company who's going to do this. I have Rajesh, my partner here, help me out. All right. So again, pretty straightforward. You've seen a new item thesis. I have an existing workflow. So here, this is an Nintex object that allows us to see if I have any pending tasks. And I'll show you this one just to give you a sense of one started, and then we'll refresh the screen. The good news is here we've got, this is a simple way that Nintex shows you the status of a workflow. Now we can simplify it by just putting one-line status, or you can actually see the workflow in action. In this case, it was a different request for a project for a different document, a change request review, and it goes to a project manager. So this yellow meaning that it's waiting for this person to provide feedback. But we'll go back and I'll refresh the screen. So here you can see that my logo design is now requesting data. So again, I'll show you that this is the workflow that we're running through, and that we're really running through. Pretty complex workflow. If I highlight it, it says, okay, it's pending. You can see it's pending for myself. So I can respond to the task, or I can do it someplace else. Let me just put this in. This is the scope of work, and this is the rate schedule, so you guys can see it. So once I complete the task, then it goes on to the next step. And you can see here again, it turned green. It's going on, and it's updating the document. As I mentioned, it's going to update a workflow. Update a Word template, and then go ahead and send this out. So we'll come back and show you when that's complete. I could have easily, just going back to the home page, most end users probably would just click one of these tasks here. So we wouldn't want them necessarily see the current action, but we want to show you ways that you can actually provide feedback to your customers in the progress. So we'll take a look at the logo design. The next step is I remembered there was a contract specialist entered data, and now I'm at the point where I'm approving it. Now you can put any information you want. I have a lot of detail in here. Some people just put very basic information. This also can be done over email, but for time's sake, we're doing this through the approval workflow or approval form. So now I'm approving the contract. At this point, it's actually going to go out and send this information to Rajesh for approval on DocuSign. So I'm going to go back and just explain what we just did. So you saw that I submitted a request using an Nintex form. It assembled a document, and it asked the contract specialist, assembled a document, then it asked the contract specialist for additional information, and then it asked the decision maker to approve it. So it's a pretty complex process that we did pretty quickly. Now it's outgoing to the external party for signatures. So in this case, our third-party customer, Acme Company, is reviewing the documents and using DocuSign to sign it. So Rajesh, do you want to talk a little bit about the technology?
Sure. Thank you, Walt. So I'll wait for the email to come in for me. So when you look at the three stacks here, we have a SharePoint Word where, like Walt explained, there are the actual Word document templates are maintained, and there is a workflow list where all this workflow is managed. Optionally, you can also have a list lookups. You know, in your business, you may have a variety of things that you want to look up and help feed the workflow. And then the fourth bucket is the completed documents. So once I show from my side the completed documents, they gets downloaded back into the SharePoint. The next is the Nintex Word, where all these workflow actions that Walt just showed is all written using the Nintex workflow platform as well as the Nintex Forms platform. There is also a third component that actually enables the integration between the Nintex connector for DocuSign that connects with the Word of the DocuSign. Once we complete the demo, we'll get into a little more of that detail. The next step that's going to happen is on the DocuSign that's where the signature experience is going to happen. Once I sign, the signed document is actually legally maintained within the document platform. Each of us get a copy as we run through the demo. I'll show in a minute. So that's the part. So we'll come back to this one. I just received an email. So I'm going to be, let me go ahead and switch the presentation for myself. So I'm turning myself as a presenter. And I'm going to switch to my screen here. And I just received an email here from Walt asking me that please sign this vendor service agreement. So you can see this email actually came from a DocuSign. And I can review the document here. There is a message for me that Walt sent me what I need to do. So I'm going to go click this document right now. So I'm being transitioned into DocuSign Word. So you can see I did not log into DocuSign as external party, so I don't need anything. I don't need an account or anything. I'm just going to go click on the link. I see all the information here. The very first thing as an external user you are going to do is first agree for the electronic records and signature. And given the international crowd we have today here, the disclaimer here, the disclosure here will be your country-specific document. So you can always click and open and understand what it means. You can modify that part. So I'm going to go ahead and say I agree to this electronic signature, and I get to continue. So I'm going to go continue this. So this is the part where it allowed me to, I can see the document as an external party, and I can see there are various fields that I need to sign and put my name and date it. So I'm going to do this electronically. So we have a fields. There are default fields here. Obviously, you can control these things from a design perspective. So I'm going to go pick up my signature here. So I'm dragging that and dropping onto the document right now. And now DocuSign is presenting me, hey, I understand this is your name, your email. Here it's giving me an option to choose a signature. You know what? I don't like this one. I want to change a style of signature. So it's going to present me a variety of predefined signatures. Most of you may have a very personalized signature, so you can actually go and, you know, I want to draw my signature. So I'm simply going to say, just for the demo, I'm just going to go and design my own signature here. Okay, so I can adopt this sign signature, and I'm going to say adopt and sign. So DocuSign actually embedded that signature right into this document. Now I want to go and drop the signature, the date that I signed, and likewise you can pick up your different things, your company, your title. Many of these things will come predefined. This is the difference, you know, how the workflow starts from inside the SharePoint Word. versus the second demo we show the distinction. So I'm at this point, I finished my signature, I reviewed everything. I'm going to say I'm done with this one, I want to finish this. So as soon as I finish, DocuSign is asking, hey, do you need to maintain a copy? If you want, you can really sign up for a free DocuSign account. So for now, I'm going to say I don't need anything. I'm going to say no, thank you. While I'm doing this thing, a couple of things happened. As soon as I went and started reviewing, Walt actually got an email saying that, hey, your client actually reviewed the document. And as soon as I signed, we both got a copy of a signed document. So I'm opening another email here. So the document that I just signed, it's saying that your document has been completed, review document. So I do have a legal document copy. I'm going to open this one here and bring it to the screen. So I'm going to bring it back here. So I have a copy of my signed document. So very simple. From customer perspective, external partners, they simply sign. That's it. They get a copy. So I'll close this one. And Walt, you want to, let me switch back to you.
Thanks.
Okay, you are the presenter.
Great. Well, thanks, Rajesh, and I appreciate it. Again, just a quick reminder, folks, please feel free to share your questions. We'll do our best to try to answer them. Just to go back, hopefully you've got a chance to see the overall workflow. Let's go back here. That really got a chance to involve a couple different technologies, but it can be made relatively easy for the end user and also for your third party, and that's really the big piece. We want to try to get an electronic flow as opposed to the paper process that you might have in some of your customers. The second part of it is, just to go back to the user experience, I forgot to show a couple things that we do. Again here, pretty straightforward, but we also have the My Workflow tasks. We do track your requests, so we have, you can also show them where are the requests, where are they pending. The templates, I forgot to show these. So these are just Word, actually that's the word for us. Let's take a look at the vendor service contract. So in this case, these are just Word documents, easy to maintain. Sorry, I'm on my corporate piece here. And ability to maintain them just like you would, you have different fields you can see here. So again, it doesn't take a very technical person to maintain these documents, and it allows you to, again, separate the work that, the division of labor for this piece. And so this was the document that you saw that was signed. It's an important piece because sometimes, IT is bogged down with maybe other challenges. The combination of Nintex, DocuSign, and SharePoint here allows this to be much more self-managed by our business customers, and they don't have to come back to us or the IT team. And then again, the completed documents get copied down. So just a simple example of how best we can do that. Just to show you that this is SharePoint. We're not doing this on some other page. You can, for those of you that love SharePoint, you can always have the SharePoint-looking pages and different sites and all the libraries. So we just hit it a little bit to make it look nicer for the demo. All right.
What sure. You can go back. You can now show them the completed document. It copied back into the SharePoint.
Oh, yep. Yeah. So here it is. You can see 6 minutes ago it got copied down.
Okay.
Great.
Let me interject real quick, Walt. Let me answer one question here. The question is, does DocuSign capture location information as well? That is correct. As each of these documents are sent across the world, DocuSign has a data centers or ability to track every signature activity that happens here, even to the IP level, time level, the technology even more advanced. So they exactly know who signed it, where it's signed. It can also sense that if somebody is trying to sign from a different country locations, let's say your customer is from USA, but the customer is traveling to Australia, it can track that customer has signed this document being in Australia. So yes, it is everything. It's completely audited. I do track a lot of. In the next few slides, I cover a lot of details into the DocuSign, so I will cover more. Walt, back to you.
Yeah.
Continue.
Good. And there was another question. Thanks, Rajesh. There was another question about Nintex and InfoPath forms. Both are supported in SharePoint 2013, but the challenge is that Microsoft's not investing in InfoPath, so that's why customers are looking at different forms technology like Nintex forms. But again, a lot of this workflow piece you can demonstrate with using other technologies. We're just using the Nintex products here. So on to the next scenario. So again, a little bit, Rajesh, you want to talk a little bit about this one?
Sure. So unlike the first demo where Walt had all the templates that is maintained by legal department inside the SharePoint, this next demo shows a different flavor where it's driven by DocuSign template signature aspect. So I can very much take the same documents that existed in SharePoint. These are really configured right inside the DocuSign environment. But if you look at the workflow perspective, you request for an external party for information, just to say, for example, offer signature or even a very common non-disclosure agreement signature, very simple one. So here you're going to choose a contract type, and then it is simply sent to an external party to sign. What happens is unlike the last example, very much the external party receives the email notification to sign. The external party signs it, but the experience is different. Now all the fields, everything is pre-filled for the customers. So you will see the contrast difference between the previous example. And then same thing, once the external party completes the signature, each party gets the signed documents and so forth. The difference here is where you have more advanced documents, and you don't want your external parties to pick and choose the fields, but instead you want to fill it for them and have the DocuSign guide them at every step to review and continue. So that is the different experience. So go ahead and let me go ahead and take the presentation. So I am going to switch myself as a presenter and show my screen here. So I'm going to go back to the same screen that Walt had here. So let me refresh this one. So there is a request for external party. This is the second scenario, so I'm going to click here. So this is really a very simple workflow. So I click new item, and you can of course choose a different thing. So I'm going to choose just an NDA for this purpose. I'm going to say this is for the work on a say release 5 build. And receiving party, I'm going to use Acme Inc. And the external party name, I'm just going to use myself, my Hotmail, just for simplicity here. Full name here. The party title, let's say manager. The email ID, this is your external party. And the disclosing party, which is just myself here internally. So I'm going to choose within myself name here. So submit this one. So what this is going to do is the workflow is going to kickstart. So you can see the workflow started here. Let's get in there to see how it's going to look like. So the workflow is going to kickstart and send an email. Let me get back. So I'm waiting for an email that it's going to send for my Hotmail account here. There we go. I got a request. So now I got the request. You can see all the customized message here. So you can customize very personalized information for every request you send out. So I'm going to click here. The difference of experience is you again have to agree to the electronic signature disclosure. I continue. So the difference is you can see DocuSign is guiding me, hey, start from here to review. and you can see it has filled the company name, everything, whatever I have. So this is a very simple example, but it means that you can pre-fill, and you see that there is no field selection here because we prepared all of this for me. So you can see the signature is pre-filled for me. So you can actually fill the disclosing party. Everybody you can pre-fill beforehand. So I'm just going to go, okay, I'm going to go sign, pick this signature for now, adopt this one. So it picked up my signature, and I say finish this. So I completed the signature. I'm just going to say no for now. So two things happen. I get a copy of completed, so I'm going to open, I just got an email that's saying, hey, you just signed this one, as well as Walt as the external party should have. So you can see it pre-filled the company name there, all the name of the company, and my signature, everything else. This is my legal document, okay? So let me, go ahead, Walt.
Let's talk about the templates. I know you were going to talk about that.
Yes. So so what is happening here is, let me just get into DocuSign here. So I have a DocuSign account, and I'm going inside here to my DocuSign. This is the subscription account, and what is happening is, so if you are a DocuSign customer, so you will have this account for yourself, and there are a couple of things. I'm going into the templates section, and you can see I have a sample NDA document. So what I did is I created a template here, and then I defined the roles here, who are the receiving party, who are disclosing party. And if I edit this one, so I simply uploaded my same document here, and I assigned these roles here, and there is an order, which order you want them to be assigned, and I will click next. So this is where you get to design your document. So for each role, let's say for a receiving role, I picked up a different fields and pre-filled for them. So you can see there is a company, and I filled all my signature, everything pre-filled for my customer to sign this. Likewise, if I choose a disclosing, you can see a disclosing party fields line up. So you basically drag and drop, for example, any of these fields here. You can take this and pretty much drop wherever you need. That's how you design the field. Once you're done, you basically save and close. So I'm just going to do this for now. So you can have more than one documents like this, and create several templates to address more complex scenarios. We'll talk about that later. There is, let me see, there is one question I just saw.
I was two signers, two or more signers.
Yes, I will. That's a very good question. So the question is, how do you configure DocuSign and Nintex to support more than one signatures? So you can see the first concept. The first thing you would do is you basically create a template. This concept works in both efforts, but basically you have you create a roles like this. You add different roles. You either add a specific person, but for the purpose of Nintex, I use a placeholder, and then I define these role names. You can see here the disclosing party and receiving party. And as you saw in the document, you basically, when you design, let me delete this last one. So you basically arrange for each of your receiving and disclosing parties, you define different fields for your different parties, and prepare your document template first. The workflow part, I will come back and show. Let me show the workflow part as well. Contract approvals. So I am going to go into the workflow here. So the contract approvals.
And again, for those who don't know, this is the Nintex part, and that was the document.
Right. Let me go back here. Just for everybody else, we do cover what the Nintex workflow platform is, and the forms factor arrays. So inside the list, those who are familiar with the SharePoint workflows, you can also create the Nintex workflows. So I'm just going to go into manage Nintex workflows, and the demo you just saw was driven by this workflow called as contract approvals workflow that I built before. So I'm going to go into, I'm selecting that workflow. So this is basically a Nintex workflow designer. We're going to cover this in a little bit, but what's happening here is this is already built to this workflow process. So there is all these different actions and activities. You can simply drag them and drop them into the workflow and build the workflow. So that's how it is built. I'll hold off on getting more into these details, but to answer specific questions, what I have done is simply, in order to explain, how multiple approvals or multiple signatures to handle. So in Nintex, what you are doing is you are using this DocuSign action. I'll cover this in a little bit. Basically to specify the different parties. So the first party I had was the receiving party. So you can see I have a role receiving party, and I'm sending this document to this receiving party email with all these messages, please sign my document. So that is the first email message you see, please sign this vendor agreement document. So that's what this message is from. And you can see this in this action. Those who are familiar with Nintex, I'm also documenting or saving the output what's called as an envelope ID. So for the subsequent approvers, you can see I have a receiving party signature. The second party was a disclosing party signature. So what happens here is you basically choose the next step, the disclosing party email, and all of this. The trick here is you're basically sending this envelope to a predefined envelope ID. That's what happens. So the first assigner generates the envelope ID. For every subsequent, you carry the same envelope ID, and that's where the next person gets the approval. I haven't enabled this one to keep this demo short for the time constraint, but that is what you do. You basically assign and pick the envelope ID. It continues through, and there are all these other steps to download the document and continue through. So at this point, let me see if there is one more question. Does DocuSign, okay. I
think he answered them, so.
Yeah, so I think you can take the presentation back, and while I review the questions here.
Okay, thanks. So thanks, Rajesh. So again, a little deep dive on some of the pieces, but hopefully we're answering your questions and showing you that this is real stuff. We're not just doing this fake. It's definitely, these transactions are working on it as we go. A little bit of background on Nintex. So hopefully many of you are familiar with the product. It's a great product to use for many different uses. A lot of our larger customers as well as smaller firms are using it. I'll give you a little bit of background about what their main focus is. If you look at the current process challenges for workflows, a lot of professionals need access to content from everywhere, a lot more collaboration that's going on. Obviously, processes that they can automate are simple to sophisticated. As you saw, we have multiple versions of parallel approvals, serial approvals, lots of different examples there. A lot of communication. You can use link. You can use email to communicate steps of the process. But a lot of times, the tool helps business users automate different processes from simple to sophisticated, as well as working with IT. The other piece is, as you saw, now with the DocuSign integration, there's 140 or more different connectors to content in other places. And so not only is it SharePoint, but it allows you to connect to lots of structured and unstructured data on-premise and in the cloud. As you saw, we had an on-premise system connecting into a cloud scenario. So what is the best way to do it? Obviously, Nintex connects a lot of these pieces. That's why we used it as part of our demonstration. The different products that we showed on the Nintex side, the workflow product that you saw there, you saw some of the forms, very sophisticated forms engine. Works very similar to the workflow product where you can drag and drop components and modify them. This works not only for a laptop or for a desktop or a browser, but mobile devices. In fact, there's a Nintex mobile client. Not only can you have a web interface to a mobile device like a tablet or for other devices, there's also a dedicated Nintex mobile client, which allows you to do store and forward. So not only can you work online, but in some situations where you don't have wireless coverage or mobile coverage, you can also work offline, look at your tasks, approve them, edit forms, edit data, and then submit them. And then finally, as we showed you, we connect from our on-premise Nintex installation using Nintex Live to connect out to DocuSign and many other products. So it's pretty exciting product suite. Real quickly to go through them, we showed you can drag and drop for designing the workflows. You can leverage obviously your SharePoint investment both on-site as well as on Office 365. You can do no-code solution, but it also does allow you to extend it through custom pieces, and it's great for compliance and making sure it's managed correctly. The Nintex Forms product, well, there goes my PowerPoint, its forms are quickly, easily developed. Let's see if it comes back up here. Okay, that was good. At least it wasn't during the demo, I guess. Here we go. Let's see if I can get this scanned. Okay. Okay, can you see that, Rajesh? Did it come back up?
Yes.
Yeah, so you can publish the forms to the browser, also have a tablet and mobile version. We didn't show this, but Nintex Live also allows you to have a form published from your on-premise environment to the web without having an extranet. It's a great feature. A lot of people like it. It's a good way to deploy some forms, like a feedback form or other things, out to the cloud. The mobile device, again here, it runs on many different size tablets as well as the phones. Again, you can take pictures and videos. It's a great way to integrate different pieces with your forms, with the Nintex Forms and Nintex mobile clients. And again, a lot of ways to connect in your platform to a hybrid deployment. You might have it pulling in data from DocuSign, or you might be connecting to many of these other over 140 different connectors that are available for that. The last thing here, again, showing a little bit of the building blocks to try to explain the components. Nintex Workflow and Nintex Forms is available for Office 365 as well as for SharePoint on-premise. They connect in through Nintex Live to the cloud, or if they're already in the Office 365 directly, those plugins can be added to it. And the Nintex Mobile obviously works for both environments. Clearly, one of the exciting parts about it is that Nintex has been a world leader in this space, and they've got thousands of customers. We've got a very international crowd today. Hopefully many of you have seen this product in potentially your environments, but it works across the world, and it's localized to 22 languages. Last thing here, if you haven't seen it, there's a great Forrester report. It talks a little bit about the total economic impact of Nintex with multiple companies. It's a global study. They've got a pharmaceutical example, engineering, bank. So it tries to take examples in each of those industries and tries to give you a real good sense of what the ROI can be. They averaged out 176% payback in 10 months, 10.5 months. So pretty impressive. It's definitely worth looking at for your environments. And as we talked about, we're able to give you a trial as part of this quick piece. So with that, I mean, we talked a little bit about the many different solutions. We've worked in all these different areas with Nintex and building solutions from HR, IT, operations, finance, and sales. We've got quite a few different examples, and we'd be happy to share them as part of our free build your own workflow. So hopefully you can sign up for that. With that, we'll give a quick overview of DocuSign. Do you want to go, Rajesh?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Walt. So go to the next slide. So I'll cover the details on the DocuSign part, and I try to, I can see there are a few questions on the DocuSign story. I'll answer them. So DocuSign is actually a legal binding. It's globally 50 million users there across 188 countries, and it's growing. It supports 13 different languages to send the documents. You can actually sign these legal documents in 43 different localized languages. So we just showed for English, but you can have your respective individual language support. So you can see there are, I have listed several government certifications which is a legally accepted electronic digital signature in the US, in the Europe, in the UK, and DocuSign employs a bank-grade security. It's unique, it's documentable, it's encrypted, it's a tamper-evident. So one of the questions I see is there any security concerns of this digital signature being misused? The answer is you can't really misuse this because it's all based on a signature, you know, the PKI, the private key and public certificate concept, you know, very much like how we all use the SSL, the HTTPS concept, you know, the same concept is utilized here to really encrypt your signature. So you can't really misuse it. And how is this addressed by DocuSign? So like I said, it's really managed by, it employs really the PKI infrastructure, the security infrastructure to protect the signature. And like I said, it's a multifaceted verification of signing events. So it's basically where the email came from, you know, where it went and where it was signed. So all of those spots are documented, captured, and logged. And all those audit logs are verified by third-party audit companies in the respective countries. So it is all well documented, well maintained. There is also a DocuSign mobile app on all the platforms, pretty standard mobile platforms, to equally, like all this document that came to me, I can very well have used my cell phone, my smartphone to do the signature activities. So it supports all the platforms. Next slide, Walt.
Yep.
Okay. So this is, I wanted to give a little bit distinction between e-signature versus a digital signature. In the past, before DocuSign or what's called as a digital signature came into practice, people utilize what's called as the e-signature. It's really, what it means is really indication or intent to agree or approve to the content. So this concept used private certificates that are not really hosted by public certificate authorities. So the DocuSign is really based on the public, private key and a public key concept. So it's really certified by verifiable mechanics. So the difference with the digital signature is it's still a electronic signature. It enables authenticity of the signer, and like I said, it's really uses the public and private and public key pairs. DocuSign, it employs, based on the different industry standards. It supports various different signature standards to support the compliance. There is a DocuSign Express digital signature. There is for the biopharma industry, there is an Open Trust digital signature, which is really based on the open source standard. And for the EU customers, those folks who are coming from UK and other countries in the European region, timestamping for your region is supported. I just listed a few, but what it really means is it's really the word of electronic signature. Next slide, please. Some of the features is beyond just a real signature concept that we showed. DocuSign really supports quite an extensive document type. So one thing I just showed was a Word document being uploaded and supported. You can actually have a variety of document support for being able to pass through these electronic signature. There are some 20 plus standard and custom tags I'll cover in the next deck. There are all these signatures, initials. You saw some of the fields, but there are quite a bit I'll cover. There is also a reporting support, so that you can see how many people signed, when they how much the processing time and all those things. And it's a tamper sealed document, so once it is signed, people cannot alter it, they cannot change the signature, it's embedded into it. So all of this is audit trail is maintained. There is a certification of completion for the workflow is maintained. Your electronic record and signature disclosure. So we talked about the disclosure documentation. You can manage, you can personalize for your company, your particular industry, your particular compliance requirements. You can embed a watermarks. These are just very few simple features I'm talking about. Next slide, please. So if you look at the process, what really it means, for a very general audience is, if you are a sending party, you want to adopt a DocuSign, and what it means to you is, you will actually have a DocuSign account as a subscription account. You pay for it, and you own the document template. You upload the document like I demonstrated before, and you will receive, and you want the receiving party to sign. But if you're a receiving party, what it means to your customers, your contractors, your parties that you do business with, they are your business partners. They sign their document. They don't pay anything for DocuSign. They only get a copy. They sign. They get a copy of the legal document. But the actual legal document is still maintained within the DocuSign. That's where it is a tamper-proof. Nobody can alter it. Okay. Next slide. So it's really the setup means that if you have a DocuSign, you basically you log in to authorize the account for the workflow that you decide. So people cannot simply steal your login, your login name, and then say, okay, I'm going to adopt it. It really needs an authorization process. All your documents, you upload them, Word document, PDF document, you insert fields, you save them as a template, you set up roles, and you put the order. Then you integrate with the Nintex, like I talked about. Next slide.
Yeah, and you covered some of these before, right?
Right. So this is really, I wanted to list all the fields that we had. So there is a signature, there's optional signature, initials. You can see a variety of fields available. Some of the things I want to highlight is you can approve and decline your document, so it goes back and forth. You can include all of those workflow processes right within the Nintex. You can give people to choose options. So there is a radio button option, there is a checkbox option. For example, you can define a drop-down. I explained there, like the marital status, there's a single married concept. There is also note field that you want people to type the notes. There is a formulas to validate, like social security numbers, the telephone numbers, various other formats applicable in your particular industry. So it's very flexible and easy to really help guide the signature process more seamless. So it's not just a signature, but really facilitate the whole experience for end users. Next, let's look at, we talked about the piece of the document experience. We talked about Nintex platform. What is really happening between the word of Nintex and DocuSign is really this this integration platform that is built by Nintex. This is called Nintex Live. Walt covered a little bit of it, so I'm just taking that same the part of the product framework and digging in a little bit deeper. Nintex Live is really a hosted service. It's built on top of Microsoft Azure platform. It really extends your word of Nintex workflow and forms platform. It allows you to handle all the authentication, It's able to transfer data between your internal world to the external world to your customers and partners. It also allows you to store your data and documents and various other things that you're processing. It also has a message queue management, so it can transfer, the workflow task and things like that. It also has a service catalog, which is what is allowing us to really integrate the DocuSign components into the Nintex world. It's real time. It's a web-based intelligence, for your business processes. Next slide.
Yep.
Okay. So you really, in the world of Nintex, there are actually 5 different varieties of DocuSign actions to utilize right inside the Nintex workflow development platform. So I'll just run through this real quick. The first one you have is a send a document for electronic signature using DocuSign system. So this is what we have used in both of our workflow examples, which sent the document for me to my email to really, to go and pick the document and do the signature. The second one is the populate fields with values for template stored in DocuSign. This applies to our second example where a template was uploaded into DocuSign site, and I had pre-filled all the fields that I wanted the receiving party to sign, review and sign. So this allowed me to send the values for those fields from the Nintex into the DocuSign. So when it comes to my, when it's sent to the external party, all of these values are sent, like company name, my role, and various other fields that we had. The third one, send an envelope with a draft status from DocuSign. This is for the advanced case. We showed a very simple use case today. That's to send one document to sign. You might have a situation where you want your party to sign more than one document, maybe 5 documents. So in that case, you can package 5 different documents inside a container. That's what is called as an envelope. And you can prepare all of that in both use cases, in a previous use case as well as the second use case. You can package all of that as an envelope and send that one envelope request to your external party. So I would receive, please go and sign these 5 documents. So I would click one by one each of those links to open up and sign one by one and take appropriate actions for each of those documents. The fourth one is a retrieve DocuSign envelope status. This one is built so that from the world of SharePoint and Nintex, we want to know, did the user sign, did they review it, what happened? So this action really allows for the workflow to find out what is happening in the DocuSign. Is it signed? Is it completed? So that we want to continue with our workflow. So that action really helps us to find that information. The fifth one is really download a document from envelope in DocuSign. In both cases, you observe that as soon as I completed the signature as an external party, the workflow is able to pick that document and put that back into SharePoint. So this will actually go into DocuSign, find out when the document, once it is signed, pick the legal document which is completed with the signature, bring it back into SharePoint and upload to the document folder. So this combination of these 5 actions, you can build a pretty comprehensive and complicated, extensive Nintex workflows that integrate with the DocuSign. Next slide.
Thanks, Rajesh. I'll maybe cover it here. We're going to come up. One of the things we have is, we often work, and we're fortunate to have people like Rajesh to help us guide our customers through this. But the challenges we often run into in workflow projects is really just getting the requirements aligned with the stakeholders, making sure we've got a good framework for our overall solution. Obviously, a lot of these products you can take different approaches to solve the problem, but it's important to have some expert advice to create the right framework so you can build many of these workflows from that basic foundation. Helping adoption within the organization. Obviously, you want to make that as easy as you can. Getting good governance, training. And obviously, once you build a good platform and you have a common structure, you can quickly roll out many workflows and gain the benefit of economy of scales. Some of the examples, again, we take a very structured approach to how we go through in creating these workflows. Even for the smallest one, it's good to have at least some of these examples together. Obviously, a workflow. Here, there's a lot of different communications from the workflow. If you do a very good one, it's good to document those and make sure they're available in wireframe the communication, wireframe the pages as well as the notifications, and make sure the security model is there. So these are just some examples of some of the work we've done. We've got extensive experience with both high-level architecture all the way down to auditing reporting. So there's quite a bit of content and experience that we can bring to the table. But the best way we think of try to help you is honestly just get the product in a trial version, having a workflow solution design session with one of our folks, and get some training and try to see these tools in action in your environment and be able to demonstrate a solution to your users very quickly. It's a pretty exciting product set. So hopefully you've seen the capabilities of how to integrate some of these things, and thank you for going through that, Rajesh. This is what we covered. All right, again, we're thankful for you to attend the presentation. There's a 4-in-1 power stylus pen. So for all those attendees that registered and are attending today, and today's winner is Lily Quissall from Genentech. So congratulations, Lily. We'll follow up with your present, and thank you again for all participating. We have, congratulations. We have a few minutes left to answer some of these questions. So thank you for, Lily, I see you got a woohoo. The couple questions, Rajesh, that came up, or maybe Matt or Raj or Drew could answer. One was, maybe, we explained a little bit about the different products, Nintex and DocuSign, but there were a couple questions that came up. One was, Nintex can be deployed with SharePoint 2010 and 2013 and Office 365. So there was a question of what platforms are best supported. They really are almost equal in all cases. So if you have any of those SharePoint installations, either on-premise with 2010 and 2013 or Office 365, those are the three ways you can deploy it. DocuSign, obviously, it's a cloud-based solution, and so those are connectors that connect Nintex to DocuSign. But understanding point of view, there's a question about document templates. Yeah, the good news is you can use Word for those document templates, those contract templates that we use. So there's nothing special about the templates. You just have to use a standard Word feature, which having promoted fields, having a field in the Word document. And in that case, the Nintex solution works with any of those named fields. The simpler example, I think Rajesh hopefully explained this. He was showing you can lay out fields in DocuSign. So DocuSign has an editor that once you have your Word document, you can add fields to that. So hopefully, Shivnath, we answered your question. Rajesh, do you see this other one? POC, yeah. Do you want to take that one?
Yeah, let me pick this. I'm trying to understand this. The question is, Nintex offers document templates. It's really not the Nintex offers a document template. It's really your document. You can use your legal documents that you have. You can place them in SharePoint and build the Nintex workflow, and it can send that document to the DocuSign to get its signature. And likewise, you can also prepare these documents templates right inside the DocuSign environment and integrate with the Nintex to be send the information. Yes, the question I see is, can you do all this back and forth between Nintex Word and DocuSign DocuSign environment application? The answer is yes. You can have your templates in SharePoint or inside the DocuSign, and you can pre-fill those fields and fill the actual values based on your workflow dynamically back and forth. Hopefully that answers your question.
And then how about the info path question? Just a quick question.
So I'm just let me see. I'm going
from.
Sorry.
I'll try to read it to you. So I think there was a couple questions even earlier. Is this work well with InfoPath? What do you think about Nintex forms? And we had a webinar on this, but maybe you can talk about
Yes. So I think there is you can look up our past webinar links in the slide share in the YouTube, so where we covered very deep into the forms story. But to answer your questions, the Nintex works with a variety of form technologies. It can use your standard info path functions with the Nintex, and as well as the Nintex forms itself, or ASPX forms. The question is, will the info path function be blended into next version of SharePoint? The answer is yes. The info path is being supported till 2023, so you can continue to use your Nintex in SharePoint 2013, 2016. Microsoft continues to support the forms server concept both in on-premises as well as Office 365. So it's continued, but I think the problem is InfoPath product itself is discontinued. So there is no InfoPath Form 2016. So that's where people are trying to look for alternative solutions. So I will take the next question.
It's probably the last one. So
yes. Can you also use PDF for templates? Yes, of course. So you can take your PDF and upload right into the DocuSign, and drag and drop all the appropriate fields into your template and save it and integrate into Nintex so it can pick up and support the experience is the same. For end users, they wouldn't know whether it's a Word document or PDF. They get just the experience of the signature.
Well, thanks, Rajesh, and thank you all for participating. I guess one last question did come in. It's a perfect question from Raghavendra. Yes, you can do a trial, and that's what we're offering, a free trial with Nintex and TechDog as well as our pieces. So please sign up to the link that you'll see in the follow-up email. Happy to help you guys get started with the trial as well as an overview of the products and get installed. So we really appreciate you taking this hour in your day, and hopefully we've answered many of your questions and shown some pretty exciting technology. Thank you, Rajesh, for your time.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye-bye.